Year's, but if I get rid of it, then what will my New Year's resolution be next January?
Exactly. So bundle your renters and auto and save with Progressive and protect the things that make sense to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers not available in all states or situations. Coverage subject to policy terms and conditions.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I thought about it for a while before I ordered them, but I love the smell of them. So it's a good thing.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Go to balanceofnature.com and get 35% off your first preferred set with free shipping as a new preferred customer by using discount code BALANCE.
Here's the Wall Street Business Report.
A slight jump in retail sales, adding to months of big gains.
The Commerce Department says sales at retailers rose slightly in September as consumers cut back on their spending after splurging over the summer. The report, delayed for more than a month because of the federal government shutdown, says sales rose 0.2% in September from August. This follows bigger sales increases in June, July, and August.
That's correspondent Mike Hempen. A grand opening for a new Walmart store is a first for the company.
Walmart officially opened its first branded store in South Africa at a mall location just west of Johannesburg. The store opening marks Walmart's direct entry into the African retail market. The launch event over the weekend reportedly attracted large crowds seeking both bargains and access to international products.
As Bill Alexander reporting at the closing bell on Wall Street, the Dow up 664 points. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bob Agnew.
News and analysis at townhall.com.
On Point weather on 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. Cloudy with overnight showers likely. Our low temperature dropping to 63. Tomorrow, look for some morning showers, but things do get better as the day progresses. We'll clear out and we'll top out with a high of 74. Thursday for Thanksgiving, much cooler, but sunshine-filled skies. A high reaching just 58, and more sunshine on Friday, but even colder. 51 the high and a low temperature that night, 29. I'm Cal Moster with your On Point local weather.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point. This is The Point. Make thepointradio.com.
The Point.
This is Sports Talk, the voice of South Carolina sports. And this week, everything changes. This week, it's the Palmetto Bowl week. 2 programs, 2 fan bases, 1 game that defines a year. Built on tradition, fueled by rivalry.
There's a lot of rivalries out there. This is more of a domination. Carolina's in Chapel Hill and USC's in California, and the university in this state always has been, always will be, Clemson.
We are the University of South Carolina. Some great moments are about to take place here by just continuing to be us. We dominate the fourth quarter. That's how we win football games, and that's what we're going to do today.
From the upstate to the low country, from orange to garnet, the talk, the tension, the countdown, it all leads here. Because in South Carolina, this isn't just football. It's pride. It's legacy. It's the Palmetto Bowl. This is Sports Talk, the Palmetto Bowl Week edition.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome in to the Talking Tuesday edition of Sports Talk here on Palmetto Bowl Week, here on Sports Talk Media Network. Great to have you with us. What a weird weather day. Drove up to the upstate, left Columbia. It was nice. Got up to, I don't know, maybe around Clinton. Got really cloudy. Then it started pouring around Simpsonville, Greenville, on into Clemson. Then it cleared up, turned beautiful again. The weather moved down across the state, and I think it was raining down by the coast by the end of the day. They're talking about, for Saturday kickoff time, temperatures could be dancing around 50 degrees, so it's going to be a
football weather.
It's going to be a little nippy. This is it. This is our winter. Enjoy it for a couple of days. And then we'll get back to those normal 65, 70 degrees that we love. Chris Bergen from the Bergie Palace. Good to have him back with us tonight from basketball duties. What'd you think of that opening?
I thought it was well done. Very well done by Josh. So, sort of sets the tone. I loved how he mixed in Dabo's rant from several years ago and got Shane Beamer's comments about how big a deal this is. Yeah, outside of our states, probably not a lot of people are looking forward to seeing South Carolina and Clemson this weekend, but inside our state, Carolina and Clemson means everything. So this is always a fun week.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't care what people outside the state think anyway. Stay outside of our state. We don't need you
Please. If
you ask me,
put a gate up at 95 up there around Dillon anyway.
Oh, absolutely. And also widen the road on the other end of I-95.
But anyway,
nice. I've always believed, and everybody's got their own opinion. You can have your own feeling. And, I mean, winning a national championship is awesome, and winning a conference championship, that's awesome. That's something great to play for. That's something to work towards. That's something to wish for. But, man, nothing beats winning in your rivalry game. Nothing beats it. I mean, the good feeling of winning a national championship or a conference championship, how long does that last? That might last you, a couple of weeks. Winning that rivalry game, that stays with you all year long. Now, I know you can go back and use that national championship ring and talk about where your program is and use it in recruiting, and that's all well and good. That's all well and good. I've always believed winning that rivalry game, though, deep in your heart, that's what your fans want more than anything else, because it doesn't matter if you're 11-0 or 0-11. If you beat your rival, you've had a great season, at least in the minds of the fans. The coaches might not think that way. The ADs might not think that way. And I'm exaggerating here. 0-11 is not going to make anybody happy. If you win your rivalry game and finish 1-11, they're not going to be happy. And that's not going to cure all your ills. But my point is, the rivalry game has always and should always be the most important game on your schedule. And this year, because they really have nothing to look forward to afterwards. Yes, Clemson's going to go to a meaningless, very low-tier bowl game. The only good thing Clemson will get out of being in a bowl game is the practice. And whoever's coming back, they'll get a chance to get in 15 practices. They'll be able to work the new sensation, Chris Denson, 15 times. Boy, they've gone crazy over him up at Clemson, coming off what he did against Furman. But I still say, let me see you do it against LSU next September down in Baton Rouge. Then I think you're onto something there, Clemson. But anyway, we got time for that, to worry about that. But, that's the one thing they'll get out of being in a bowl is the extra practice. South Carolina won't get that. So really, neither's got much to live for after this game except to get ready for next year. So that's why, to these two coaches, maybe for the first time in many years, this game means everything. You got to win this game to have a little bit of shine on an otherwise dull season for both of them.
And it brings me to a question I wanted to pose to you, Phil, because you've covered the rivalry game a lot longer than I have. We've both been around it for decades. But I can't remember both teams going into the preseason with all the expectations on both sides. Normally it was Clemson with all the expectations, and understandably so, and normally they met those expectations. And then when South Carolina had big years here the last couple of decades, with the 5-year run under Spurrier from 2009 to 2013 notwithstanding, it was somewhat of a surprise that the Gamecocks finished with 8, 9, 10 wins. But can you remember a season that went in reverse? And both teams had such bad years coming off the expectation. Clemson is ranked 4th in the preseason. South Carolina in the top 15. Neither one of them are going to come close to sniffing the top 25.
Not only that, you had the two front runners for the Heisman Trophy back in the summer.
Exactly.
And, I mean, it's crazy. It's just crazy. I don't know what people were thinking. They weren't thinking deeply. Of course, you really couldn't. I really think there was good reason to think that Clemson would be there, because you look at what they had coming back with the quarterback, the receiving core. Of course, they lost Bryant Wesco, veteran offensive line, tremendous defense on paper in the summer. They look great on paper in the summer. This guy's a first-round pick. That guy's a first-round pick. This guy's a first-round pick. Remember that? They had people projecting like 3 or 4 of their defensive people being first-round picks. And for whatever reason, for them, it's been truly underperformance across the board for Clemson, truly underperformance. South Carolina's case greatly misjudged the talent level.
Yeah.
In so many areas. The analysts greatly misjudged, and that's what happens when you try to analyze from 500 miles away, 10,000 feet above the planet. You're not there every day. You're not. You can read all the magazines you want and read everything you want to on the internet, but unless you're there, I mean, these people didn't understand the depth of the losses South Carolina had on defense. Clayton White should get votes as Defensive Coach of the Year in the SEC. With what he's been able to maintain with this defense. When he lost, what was it, 5 guys who are playing on NFL teams right now? I think it was. Hit very hard, gutted. Defense was just gutted. And then the offensive line, which was not great last year, also lost some players, had to be rebuilt, and we know the struggles with the offensive line. You lose your best running back. Whatever the deal is with Sellers, hot and cold, people are keying on Sellers. Maybe that's why his numbers are down. Maybe he hasn't been playing as aggressively as he did last year at certain times. You know, all kind of theories out there. But just totally overestimated the talent level. I think they based it on the fact that they won 9 games and they had Lenore Sellers coming back, and that was good enough for them. Make him number 11.
I think the Lenore Sellers thing as much as anything. I mean, clearly, if you're a national analyst, you had to realize that the Gamecocks lost so much off the defense. There was no way they could be as good as they were defensively last year going into this season. You should have been able to see that. And then on the flip side, but I think you're right, Phil. I just think we saw the way the season ended with them. They win 6 in a row, lose the bowl game, but you've still got Lenore Sellers who guided them those 6 wins and certainly played so well against Clemson. You just assumed that they were going to pick right back up where they left off, and the offense hasn't been anywhere close to that good. Curious part is going to be what kind of offense they run out there on Saturday against the Tigers. Are they going to be somewhat creative? Once again, I think they threw some new wrinkles at Coastal on Saturday. Certainly did in the first half against Texas A&M. Is this the last audition point that Mike Furry may have to try and become the full-time offensive coordinator?
Yeah, it's a good question. How do you look at that so far? I mean, terrific first half against Texas A&M. Texas A&M played horribly, not to take away from what they did, but they did play horribly. But then they didn't do anything in the second half. And I can't, to be honest with you, I got to kind of throw the Coastal game out the window. I mean, because you're playing, hate to say it to you, but you're playing an inferior opponent that just didn't match up well and physically and from a talent standpoint. I want to see them do that against Clemson or do that against an SEC for 60 minutes, an SEC team, and then I would say you got your answer right there. But there's not time for that. I mean, he'll have to Beamer will have to make a decision based off of what he's seen of Furry's work, really that first half against Texas A&M, and then whatever they do against Clemson, if he decides to go that way. Or, of course, he'll go outside and hire somebody from another program.
Well, and I think it's going to be tough. I think from the fan base perspective, I think it's going to be tough whether or not they go out and score 45 points against Clemson this weekend or not. I think it's going to be difficult for him to elevate somebody who's in the program back up to offensive coordinator, because I think most Gamecock fans are thinking, you did that with Mike Shula, and it was a disaster. Go get somebody else from outside that brings, as you pointed out earlier, that has an offense already. Not the Clemson offense, not the South Carolina offense, to use your recommendation, the Chad Morris offense. You need to go find somebody who has a college-ready offense that they can bring in. But then your concern is, if you're Shane Beamer, what do you do with Mike Furry? Do you stick him? I mean, is he going to take just being the wide receivers coach again? Is that good enough for him? Or now that he's gotten a taste of play calling, is he going to want to have a little bit more input, especially on the offensive side of the football?
Yeah. Well, I saw a list today published by the state newspaper. They listed 10 offensive coordinators, play callers, that I'm not going to call them candidates. I'm going to call them just, names of individuals out there who could be good. Either any of them could be good at South Carolina as an offensive coordinator. They're all young. That's the one thing. They're all young. They are, I'm not going to say one-hit wonders, but many of them are having a good year this year. Maybe for the first time in their career, they're having one of those breakthrough seasons. So you have to be careful that You don't hook on to somebody who's just gotten hot this year and then fizzles out when he comes to your place. You want somebody with somewhat of a track record, I would say. A couple of 3 years of success, and I mean, again, nobody's thinking the way that I'm thinking when it comes to a guy like Chad Morris. But to me, good gracious, I think that would be a slam dunk. I don't know why the idea of a Chad Morris hasn't gotten any hasn't grabbed anybody's attention, including Shane Beamer, apparently, when you consider his pedigree and his availability, assuming he's interested in going back into being a college coach and running an offense again. Maybe he's not. Maybe he kicked that tire and there was no interest there. I don't know. That's just one that stands out to me because of his familiarity to the state of South Carolina. We've seen his work. From Beamer's standpoint, I think the idea of an older head would be good in this particular case.
I agree with you.
Even though Beamer's climbing up near 50 now, he's not a young chicken anymore. And that black hair, boy, that's turning in a hurry, and it's turning loose. It's turning loose from the backside, and it's turning that shade you don't particularly want to have, but you're stuck with it. Unless, of course, you use a bottle of Miss Clairol every once in a while. You ever use Miss Clairol? Well, you don't have any hair to begin with anyway.
Who, me?
I'm talking about you.
I just keep it cut short.
Oh,
I've got plenty of hair.
So if you didn't cut it short, you'd have you'd be well coiffed.
I would look like a 1980s heavy metal band singer.
Seriously?
Yes. I can grow long hair.
I can't see that.
This goes back to when I was really little. My mother loved to have my hair grow out because, as moms are, they don't want to cut their sons or daughters' hair when they're really, really young. And people started to think I was a girl. And so I think that sort of traumatized me. I wanted to make sure, this short hair, it's fairly obvious.
Well, it looks good on you.
Well, thank you.
It looks good on you.
Well, and back to your point about an old head, though, don't you think that the Gamecocks were a little bit better when they had people like Pete Lembo in the room? Somebody I think that Shane Beamer can bounce ideas off of, and they have the fortitude and the pedigree to say, no, that's not going to work, i.e., don't go for 2 when you don't need to against Alabama.
Yeah.
I don't think he has anybody right now. Maybe Clayton White is one of those guys that he respects enough that would say, Coach, this is not a good decision. But I'm not sure he's got anybody on that offensive side that would have done that.
Right. You're right. Yeah, I think Limbo was and I think I think Loggins was of a level that he probably left him alone to run the offense in his image, because he had an offense. He was that kind of guy. I just think Chad Morris would be a good hire for them, but what do I know? Speaking of 2-point conversions, we got to go to the break, but I thought about you last night when the Panthers went for a 2-point conversion. They were going to kick it. There was a penalty on the 49ers that moved the ball to the 1. So they changed their mind and went for 2. And, of course, Bryce Young overthrew the receiver, by 3 or 4 yards. He could have done that from the 3. But the point is, you're chasing that point now the rest of the game, and I could hear you in my head saying, what are you doing? Be right back.
If you're a new parent or grandparent, it might be tough to picture your little ones heading off to college, but it'll be here before you know it. I'm State Treasurer Curtis Loftus. Future Scholar, South Carolina's 529 college savings plan, makes it easy to start saving for a child's future education right now. You can start with any amount. Contributions are tax deductible and earnings grow tax free. Discover the smart, easy way to save for college today at futurescholar.com. That's futurescholar.com.
You were always more than my mom. You were my role model, my best friend, and biggest supporter. You filled my days with unconditional love, and you also prepared for the day when you couldn't be here. Because of the woman you were back then, I'm able to be the woman I am now. Your planning made this moment possible.
Set your family up for life. Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance. Your friends for life.
Life insurance isn't for you. It's for those you love the most. For a complete insurance review, call Buddy Bridges in Lawrence County at 864-923-2174, serving Lawrence, Clinton, and the shores of Lake Greenwood.
Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi. Not licensed to do business in all 50 states.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lisa Hosteller-Brown. Did you know your will is designed for your assets to pass through the probate court? If you want to keep your loved ones out of court, a revocable trust is a great place to start. Visit lawyerlisa.com for more information and to see how we can help.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
7511 St. Andrews Road, Irmo, South Carolina.
South Carolina's taste buds have spoken, and they're asking for beef. There are more than 7,800 farms raising cattle from pasture to plate in the Palmetto State. So whether it's steaks on the grill before the big game, sirloin medallions plated for date night, or burgers with a family, make sure beef is a part of your playbook this football season. Smoked, grilled, and slow roasted. Find the best way to enjoy your beef at sccattle.org. Beef. It's what's for dinner in South Carolina. Funded by the South Carolina Beef Council, part of the Beef Checkoff Program.
Welcome back. It is Sports Talk Media Network. Phil Kornbluth, Chris Bergen, and the plumber, Josh Cohen, at your service. Reminder, we'll be live with you tomorrow night. We will not be with you on Thursday, and then back with you live, of course, on Friday. Seeing a breaking basketball recruiting story here, and that is that Isaac Ellis, brother of Eli Ellis, has decommitted now from South Carolina. That he's opening up his recruitment and reclassifying for 2027. If I remember correctly, he was 2027, then reclassified for 2026, did not sign with South Carolina during the early signing period, which is now over. And so he held off on doing that, and now he is reopening his recruitment and stepping back to next year. Good player, big-time scorer, averaging 30 points and 8 assists per game. He had 56 points in a game back on November 14th. He plays at Moravian Prep in North Carolina and with the Overtime Elite in Atlanta. So there you go. So the Ellis kid, and now, look, South Carolina can go re-recruit him, try and get him back. I don't think that that's something that is impossible here, especially if his brother continues to have a good experience, or maybe he wants to not play with his brother. Even though they've played together their entire lives, maybe he wants to go carve his own path. So we shall see about that. All right, phone number 888-898-2525. That is a South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number. Learn more about the lottery's impact at sceducationlottery.com/educationwins. And playing for fun is a win for education. Text line number 803-900-4847. Text line brought to you by Larry Lucas Insurance in Columbia and in Lexington. Let's go to Andy in Columbia. Get us rolling on the calls. If you haven't gotten your picks into us, do so over the air or also by a text message. Go ahead, Andy. Good to have you with us.
Well, maybe this is a sign that his brother's not happy here at South Carolina.
I don't know. Don't know why he wouldn't be happy.
Well, who knows why these kids do half of what they do.
This is true.
This
is true.
I commented on you last night saying good call on your special teams having an impact. considering that
thank
the
you.
only 7 they put on the board.
That was about it. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, But the reason I called, Korn, the name I threw out last week for offensive coordinator, I said he was probably going to be available. Got available Sunday.
Yep.
When the Raiders kicked him to the side.
Yep. He was older than dirt, but he would be too expensive. He would be too expensive.
Why? He's got more money. He knows what to do with from all these places. He's been kicked to the side.
Yeah, I just don't like that. I don't like that feel.
What? Chad Morris has been fired from places.
Yeah,
that you want so bad. What's the feel so great about him? Arkansas canned him. He's been canned all over the place.
He wasn't canned at. It was at SMU where he went first.
Yeah, he was at SM, but as soon as he left, SMU became more of a power than when he was there. So
well, he must have been doing.
I don't think
something
SMU
well
would be the team
to
they
get
are
to
now.
Arkansas. But you're not hiring a head coach. You're hiring an offensive mind and offensive coordinator. There's a difference. There's a difference.
Oh,
and I just think Chip Kelly. I don't know. What do you think, Bergie? I don't like the idea of it. I certainly, and also I think Beamer's made it. Either I've read this or he has said it. He's not looking for the NFL type this time around. He's looking for the collegiate type, the total collegiate type, from what I understand, from what I've read, maybe what I've heard.
Well, hopefully he'll pick a type that'll be successful. At least stick around. He hasn't had much success in that category.
No, I mean you need to hit on someone here that's going to be with you for 2, 3, 4 years and develop your offense and get it humming.
Well, the problem there is, Phil, there's no guarantee that he's going to be here himself 2 to 3 years.
Well, if he gets this hire right, gets the right guy in there and gets the offense up to speed, and then if he can retain Clayton White, not suggesting he's going anywhere, if he can retain Torian Gray, I don't know if James Franklin at Virginia Tech would come calling for Torian Gray, trying to get him to come back home. That's his alma mater. He can hold that group together, get the right guy in on the offense. Maybe Sellers comes back for another year. I don't think there's any guarantee that he leaves. Maybe you get that offense up to about 35 points a game. That would be a huge jump, but you can do it. You win, you get back to where you were last year, and you're fine, and you're going to be here for the long haul. That's what I think is going to happen. Be right back.
On Point weather on 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. Cloudy with overnight showers likely. Our low temperature dropping to 63. Tomorrow, look for some morning showers, but things do get better as the day progresses. We'll clear out and we'll top out with a high of 74. Thursday for Thanksgiving, much cooler, but sunshine-filled skies. The high reaching just 58, and more sunshine on Friday, but even colder. 51 the high and a low temperature that night, 29. I'm Cal Malster with your On Point local weather.
At Palmetto State Armory, we offer the largest selection of guns and ammunition at unbeatable prices. Our knowledgeable and friendly staff are here to provide personalized assistance, ensuring you find exactly what you need. If you enjoy outdoor activities like hunting, camping, or hiking, our clothing and outdoor gear collection has got you covered. We also feature an exceptional indoor range facility where you can experience the thrill of shooting in a safe and controlled environment. Visit us today at PalmettoStateArmory.com or your local retail store. Palmetto State Armory, American made for life.
November 17th. With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. President Trump says his plan to end the war in Ukraine has been fine-tuned. He said Tuesday that he's sending envoy Steve Witkoff to meet with the Russian president and Army Secretary Dan Driscoll to meet with Ukrainian officials. Mr. Trump suggested he might meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky once negotiations progress. Nigeria's president says all 24 girls held by assailants following a mass abduction last week from a school in Kebbi in northwestern Nigeria have been rescued. A total of 25 girls were abducted on November 17th from a government school in Kebbi's state Maga town, but one of them was able to escape the same day. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 664 points. This is SRN News.
Lots of plumbing companies out there. Few are truly local. Time to discover the difference with Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning. See, when I faced plumbing woes at the Cohen home, Josh and his dedicated team, well, they were my go-to solution. They make a commitment to exceptional service. They arrived on time, clearly detailed all the costs and procedures, and efficiently handled all my repairs without any surprises. These days, how often do we complain about a lack of customer service out there? With Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning, these folks are professional. They're courteous. They're skilled at what they do, and they've earned my trust, and they've earned my recommendation to you. From urgent repairs to the tankless water heater you've always wanted, they've got you covered. Visit franklinplumbing.sc.com or call 799-2222. That's 799-2222. Hey, you tell them Kev sent you from The Point. I'm pretty sure you'll want to thank me later.
When your temperatures swing, your comfort shouldn't. At Sweet Comfort Services, we make sure your system's ready for anything. Get our $99 preventative maintenance, a full inspection and tune-up that keeps your equipment efficient, reliable, and safe. Thinking it's time for an upgrade? We offer estimates on new Goodman and American Standard systems. You'll get honest advice, fair pricing, and expert installation. No gimmicks, no surprises. Call 803-331-8143 or visit sweetcomfortservices.com to schedule today.
This fall, discover a place where friendly faces greet you at the door. McCoy's Hardware of Lexington. Greg Lynette and their welcoming team make every visit a breeze with expert advice and genuine hometown care. No more endless aisles or big box blues, just quality products and people who want to know your name. For every project, big or small, find what you need and a neighborly smile at 2028 Augusta Highway. Shop local. Shop happy. McCoy's Hardware of Lexington.
If you're feeling the weight of the world, how about visiting Spa MD in West Columbia? Marcy and her team can provide that perfect massage for individuals or even a couple. Lainey's been several times. She comes home completely revitalized. For a gift, if you're in the doghouse, or just because you love her, check out their options at visitspamd.com or call 251-9400. Leave your stress behind because you know what? You deserve this getaway. Spa MD, 251-9400.
Experience the difference local craftsmanship makes at Best Mattress, serving the Midlands as a family-owned business for 97 years. West Columbia, Divine Street, or our stunning newest Lexington showroom right near the amphitheater. Discover mattresses handcrafted right here. No offshore shortcuts. Our specialists guide you to your perfect fit with a custom comfort test, and you'll be surprised just how affordable quality and durability can be. Enjoy a 90-day comfort warranty and white glove delivery. Visit bestmattress.net. Sleep local. Sleep better. Best Mattress.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It's Sports Talk Media Network here on this Tuesday night edition, Talking Tuesday of Palmetto Bowl Week. Good to have you with us. Time to hear from the coaches. 7:05, Perry Orth will be with us. 7:35, Mike Morgan on the move. Some notes and recruiting to be dropped in amongst all of that. But let's get to these head coaches. They are ready to get at it on Saturday afternoon, high noon at Williams-Brice. Let's begin here with Dabo Swinney, the underdog. The underdog this time, for the first time since 2013. The Tigers are the underdogs going into the rivalry game with South Carolina, but it is a rivalry game, something that he's always cherished as a football player and a football coach. Here's Dabo Swinney.
It's just fun. It's fun being a part of a rivalry game. It's even more fun when you win, that's for sure, but it's a blessing to be a part of a historic game. And, you know, this is kind of my norm in life for a long time with 13 Alabama Auburn games and then just growing up kind of being as a fan and then 23 years here. So, I mean, it's just fun to be in the fight, if you will, fun to be a part of it. and look forward to a great game on Saturday against a really good football team. Got a lot of respect for Shane and how he does things. And this I know their record's not what they wanted it to be, just like ours isn't what we want it to be. But they're a really good football team, very talented. A lot of really, really good players on both sides of the ball, and offensively it starts with their quarterback. I mean, he is an elite player. He's a great football player. Can change the game on one play. And you see that in him all the time. So big task there, and obviously we did a poor job with him last year. And then I think all their backs are good players. They're all powerful runners. 8 is a guy that's probably the most improved player on their team. He is a take the top off, of the defense type of guy, and I mean he can run away from anybody. So he's a handful, and they've done a good job, especially as of late, getting their playmakers involved. They've gotten, Sellers, the younger brother, Roland, scored on the first play last week. And second series, another big play. So I mean, they've been very deliberate in making sure that their playmakers are touching the ball. A lot of shots down the field, 4 and 8, and again, but committed to running the football. And obviously, 16 is a huge factor there. So I think that again, we've got to play really, really well on defense and find a way to contain this quarterback. And then on the other side, probably, if not the best, certainly as good as anybody we've played, these two ends especially. I mean, these guys are really, really good, very talented, and think they're strong inside. They got good depth up front. They play a lot of guys, got a pretty good rotation there. I think 17 and 0 are good players. 24's been around. He's played 1 million snaps, so he's a good football player as well. 15 at corner. We saw him at NC State, so brought in a good player there. 31-8, all those guys. I mean, they've got a bunch of guys they play in the secondary, so they've got a good rotation, good depth, and 4-down team that really executes their scheme well. And I think they've given them a chance in about every game defensively. So it's a good football team, and then special teams is always a factor in this game. They've taken a couple to the house. 4 is an excellent punt returner for them, and then their best player, 8, they got deep. So he's a guy we've got to do a great job of making sure that we don't allow any big plays in the return area. So it'll be a big challenge for us this week. But again, rivalry game, and it doesn't matter what records are, all that stuff. We all know what this one's all about this week, and again, look forward to the competition.
How much would you say Stefan Green's progressed? Obviously, he was available last week, but he didn't play.
Yeah, better and better every day. Yep.
The senior class has lost 2 of 3 against South Carolina. Like, it would be 3 of 4 if they were to lose. Is that an extra motivation for that group, just considering that hasn't happened here for a while? Yeah,
I mean, we've also won 2 of 4. So you can do the math however you want. We've won 8 out of 10. So you can however you want to make the math work, to make the story, you can spin it however you want. So I think nobody needs extra motivation to win this game. Game means a lot. I mean, you win, it's a great day. You lose, it's a really bad day in your life. You got to move on either way, but it's a rivalry game. It means a lot to a lot of people. So, these guys, if we've won 2 out of the last 4, they've won 2 out of the last 4. So, again, you can spin the math however you want. We've won 8 out of 10, however you want to make it work. You can look at the 100-something years of this game. Whatever you want to, whatever narrative you want to write, you can write, make the math work for you. But none of that has anything to do with extra motivation. Everybody wants to win because it's a rivalry game. It's a huge game. It's a state championship, and that's why you want to win. I don't think anybody needs any extra motivation in this game. They all will walk in highly motivated.
When you look back at last year's game and what Lenore Sellers was able to do do you have an added point of emphasis to make sure you tackle him to the ground more so than, maybe a normal quarterback, just because of what you experienced last year and the frustration when you went back and looked at that game film?
Yeah, all you got to do is watch the tape. I mean, we had him tackled about 50 times. I don't know how many missed tackles we had, but it was like unbelievable. It was crazy. So, they all know what they're dealing with. That's the good thing, is at least they've got that in their head. He's hard to get down. He's strong, and you have to do a great job of staying in front of him and trying to keep him in the pocket. And you got to get 11 guys to the ball, and when somebody gets to him, you got to find a way to wrap up and hold on, because he's strong and he can break tackles. And again, that was the difference in the game last year. So they've got some experience with that, because everybody's back except for Barrett and Steph Island and Mickens.
Does it feel any different to you? Because, for so many years you've had something kind of big to play for. After the South Carolina game, you still had a big apple out there in front of you. But now, whatever bowl game you end up going to, it's not what you've kind of been used to. Does it feel any different going into this game because of that?
No. That's just your season. We've been to 7 playoffs in 10 years, but we've been in the league championship 8 out of the last 10 years. But we haven't always been there, and we're not in. Last time we were down there, we weren't going to the championship, but we were looking forward to a bowl game, and we had a great bowl game against what was it? 23 was that Kentucky? That was a lot of fun. 21, we didn't go to the championship. We played Iowa State in the Cheez-It Bowl. That's one of the funnest bowls I've been a part of. We had a ball, had a great time. It was a fun win. So no, it doesn't matter if you're in the playoff, if you're in the ACC championship game, whatever. It's all about this game. It really is. And I hope that doesn't get lost as football changes and evolves. And that's actually something that you worry about a little bit. Games like this being affected. The more things expand, and all of a sudden you've got a big game next week, or that's instead of a championship game, it's the first round of the playoffs, which is what you see in the NFL, right? And you got all of a sudden you don't play your starters or whatever. And I hope that doesn't get lost down the road, but who knows? But for me, it's never been about, well, we in the championship next week or we're going to the playoff. It's about this game. And I've been here 17 years, and we've had 9. We've been to the championship 10 times in my 17 full seasons. So 7 of those years, just like this one. So it's just whatever that season presents. But it doesn't change anything for me for the importance of this game and the value of this moment. I think. That's sometimes we don't realize the value and the importance of the moment you're in until it becomes a memory, right? And like you want this to be a good memory, not a bad one. So you better be locked in the moment that you're in.
You're underdogs in this game for the first time in 12 years. Does you share that with your players? Is that like a little bit of meat to throw at the guys?
I don't ever talk about that stuff. I don't talk about that. We just talk about the game. What we got to do to win the game. If we're under, I'm sure somebody else will tell them that. They don't need me to tell them that.
You surprised you're underdogs?
Not really. We're going to a tough place. They're at home. They beat us last year. They're good. They're not surprised. Nothing surprises me anymore. There's very little that surprises me these days. Very little.
Dabo Swinney, are you surprised that Clemson opened, the very first line had Clemson 5.5, and now it's South Carolina 2.5.
With the way they dominated the series in Columbia, I am surprised. And by the way, Dabo, funnest, not a word. And secondly, stop with the numbers. You know who Lenore Sellers is. You know who Jaden Sellers is. You know who Nick Harbor is. You know Vakari Swain's name. These are in-state guys. Stop with the numbers. It works against Louisville, not so much against USC.
We'll be back with the other guy after the break.
Your home is where your memories live. It's where you laugh and where you love.
We understand the importance of the valuables under your roof, tangible and intangible alike. So no matter what's around the corner, we'll be there, offering you and your family the support that's made Farm Bureau Insurance a trusted name for nearly 70 years. You deserve more. You deserve a promise. Learn more at scfbins.com.
Call me, Alex Satterfield, at 803-749-9171 for all of your Midlands insurance needs.
Shop for the holidays smarter this year with Founders Federal Credit Union. Now through December 31st, take advantage of 5.99% APR on select purchases made with your Founders credit card. Spread more holiday cheer this year without breaking your budget. Visit foundersfcu.com/cc for more information. Membership qualification required. Promotional rate ends July 1st, 2026. Effective APR of 13.00 to 17.90% will apply. See website for details.
Every lottery ticket purchase keeps education in our state moving forward. In fact, the lottery has raised more than $200 million for state school buses to get our students to school safely every day. Then, the lottery helps those students go even further in their education by funding the Life, Hope, and Palmetto Fellow Scholarships. So remember, when you play the lottery, you're keeping South Carolina students on the road to success. Learn more at sceducationlottery.com/betteryou. G3.
All right, we heard from Dabo Sweeney. Now it's time to hear from the counterpart, the counterpuncher, Shane Beamer, head coach of your South Carolina Gamecocks. And the Gamecocks, as I mentioned, they are the favorite in the Palmetto Bowl as of right now, 2.5. They were the winners last year, and they're hoping to snap Clemson's 5-game winning streak at Williams-Brice. That's just hard to believe that it's been that long since the home team has won. Last time the home team won was 2018 up at Death Valley. Beamer hopes to change that on Saturday. Here you go, Shane Beamer.
Another year in this rivalry. Feel extremely grateful to be a part of this rivalry. I've been a part of some good ones in my coaching career, playing career, both Georgia Tech, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Florida, Oklahoma, Texas, Virginia Tech, Virginia, and just the different places that I've coached. And this is right there at the top, just what it means to this state, what it means to both fan bases. It's an awesome rivalry, not just in football, as you guys know, but I think what makes this thing unique is the rivalry in all the sports, that no matter what sport we're playing Clemson in, it's a big deal to South Carolina fans and Clemson fans both, and our fan bases. So extremely grateful to be a part of the rivalry, going on year 5 as a head coach, and this is my 9th one, counting my years as an assistant here also. But ton of respect for their program. You guys know how I feel about Dabo, and the respect I have for him as a coach, as a person. He's a friend, and I think a lot of them, they're a team. I think seasons are very similar in a lot of ways. As you look at their schedule, there's 3 or 4 games on that schedule that you look at that easily could have gone the other way. It's a play here, a play there in 3 or 4 different games, and they're a 9-10 win team in the mix for the ACC championship. Again, they've had injuries, certainly in some key spots throughout the year, like we have. Every game they've played in, though, they have always competed. They've been in every game. I was so impressed with them watching the Louisville game from my hotel room in College Station on that Friday night, and the way they battled against Louisville, where there were a lot of times in that game where you felt like Louisville had it under control, but Clemson just kept hanging in there and found a way to win. So it's a testament to their program and the young men they have in that program. A lot of respect for them, for sure. And they're playing their best ball right now at the end of the season on a 3-game winning streak, and have looked really good doing it in all 3 phases. Offensively, starts with Cade Klubnik, the quarterback. It's been cool following his career and seeing how he's just gotten better each and every season. And I know the season didn't start this year the way they wanted, or he wanted, but he's just continued to hang in there and get better. He's very hot right now. Adam Randall at running back's been a great change from a depth standpoint for them. He's a load. The offensive line, I know they've had some injuries, but physical, well coached. The 2 tackles have been there forever. A lot of respect for them and the way they play and their durability in their receiving core is dangerous. They've got size, they've got quickness, they've got athleticism. Tight end room has depth, so they're an offense that can score a lot of points and is really dangerous defensively. Every year they're good on defense. I mean, we know that we've struggled to score points on these guys, particularly the last couple seasons, and they're extremely talented this year. Like always, the two tackles are as good as anywhere that we've seen, or as good as anybody we've seen this year in regards to a tandem. Woods and Capehart, they're really, really good. It'll be an awesome opportunity. Our guys are really looking forward to the opportunity to go compete. We all feel very blessed to be a part of this rivalry. I need Saturday in Williams-Brice to be unlike. I told our players that we've had some great environments this year for home games, but none of them will compare to what we're going to see on Saturday. So counting on our fans creating that environment for us. I guess it'll be the biggest crowd that Clemson's played in front of all season. So we need that place rocking. I don't give a crap if it's at 12 noon or 12 midnight or 8 p.m. or 3:30. It doesn't matter. The standard that we want to play with and the standard we need our fans to show up with doesn't change. So 12 noon, we'll see you in there, be in there early, create that environment. And it's not lost on me that, neither team is where they want to be right now at the beginning of the season. I think both teams and most people on the outside expected this game to be played this weekend with playoff implications, just like it was last year. And I'm 100% convinced that this year is a little bit of an outlier and a bump in the road, but that next season and then every year from here on out, this game will be played in November on Thanksgiving weekend with playoff implications. It didn't happen this year, and I know both teams feel like they're extremely close to where they want to get back to and where we were last year at this time, or this game we were going into it and we thought the winner was going to be in the college football playoff. And this season, that's not what the implications of this game are. Still really, really meaningful and still really, really, really special. And it didn't happen this year, but we're not going anywhere. We're only going to continue to get better as a program. And I know Dabo feels the same way. They're not going anywhere. They've recruited well, I'm sure, and got good young players in their program, and they're not going anywhere. So this rivalry is going to be back here pretty quickly to being played Thanksgiving weekend with national implications like it was last year. And there may not be national implications this year, but there's a whole lot of South Carolina implications for both teams, and we're excited to go compete.
Shane, you mentioned it right there. I mean, this has not been the season that you guys or Clemson have wanted to have, but heading into the offseason here, knowing that you're not going to be playing in a bowl game, what would a win this weekend do for the state, but also just for the momentum heading into the offseason? Yeah, it'd be huge. You always want to win the last one and want to send these seniors out the right way. It would be pretty special for DQ Smith to say that and Brian Thomas and the guys that got here in 2022 and the other seniors that they went 3-1 against Clemson potentially. I mean, that'd be awesome for them to say. But more than anything, it's just we want to go play well on Saturday. This is a special group of young men that we have on this team, Jack, that we want to send out the right way. It's our last ride together on Saturday, and we want to make it meaningful and special. And certainly you want to win your last one, but when your last game is against your rival, it makes it extra special.
You mentioned Clemson's defense. There have been a few games this year, their blitz rate's been at 50%, and some games even higher than that. So they're really aggressive. You mentioned Peter Woods in the middle of it. What is your offensive line going to have to do to be able to make sure they're not able to wreak havoc in your backfield this weekend?
Play well. It's going to be a battle. I mean, you're looking at, when I talked about those draft projections, I'm pretty sure everyone that I've looked at has Parker and Woods both in the first round if they come out, or I don't even know what decisions they have to make. And then they've got guys on the back end. They're going to be NFL players, but it certainly starts up front, and it really starts being able to control those two tackles. And it'll be a big challenge for our guys on the offensive line. We've gone against some really good defensive tackles this year in this conference. We've gone against some really good defensive ends this year in this conference, and then we're going against a really good front four that has depth this Saturday in this game. So we're going to need those guys to play really, really well, play with great physicality and execution, and then I think Dabo said it in his press conference today, and I agree. Like, our best players got to play well, and that starts on the offensive line. Like, those guys have got to play well, because 11 and 19 can wreck your entire game plan if you don't control them.
And looking at
further down the road with the 2027 recruiting class, it seems like there are a lot of
7
in-state guys who both teams are after, maybe more so than in the past. How critical is it, even further down the road for those head-to-head battles with them for some of those guys?
I used to think that who won the game really mattered, and maybe it does with some of these guys, but I think it's more, we spend so much time recruiting them throughout the year to say that a young man's decision is going to come down to what happens on Saturday. I don't think that's the case anymore. Now, if a team went out and lost like 20 in a row, it's probably you're not going to win those Sierra battles. But I think it's more just the other 364 days of the year, the relationships, what you're doing as you recruit guys. There's guys in, this year's class that are committed to us that are seniors right now that were heavily recruited by Clemson. And I don't think they're necessarily coming to Carolina because we won the game last season. And then there's guys that are here right now that were seniors in high school back in 23. I don't think they, went to Clemson because Clemson won that game or whatnot, if that makes sense. So I think the game, it's a factor, but I think it's more so just the general direction of the program and the relationships that kids have with the men and women in both programs.
So we've got to get Beamer to stop using the word whatnot, and we got to get Sweeney to stop using the word funnest.
Funnest.
Maybe we should have some sort of English lesson before kickoff.
These are educated guys, though, Phil. Were they not taught proper English in college or in high school?
Well, I mean,
good grief, funnest.
Whatnot is a word, but it's just
yes.
Palmetto Bowl spelling bee.
We could do that.
Funnest is not, though.
How about this note? This was in the Clemson pregame notes. Clemson, of course, it would be in the Clemson notes. Clemson has led the all-time series for 46,398 consecutive days. That's 127 years and 12 days. South Carolina won the series opener in 1896. I missed that one. Before Clemson evened the series in 97, Clemson won the third game, November 17th, 1898, to take a 2-1 series lead, a lead Clemson hasn't relinquished. 46,398 days. You think they're counting up there at Clemson? You think it means something to Clemson to have this big edge over South Carolina in football? It goes back to mindset, want to, and emphasis. We'll be back.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. The FBI is seeking interviews with the Democrats who urged U.S. troops to defy illegal orders. White House correspondent Greg Clugston reports.
Democratic lawmakers who appeared in the video say the FBI has contacted them to begin scheduled interviews. President Trump has accused the Democrats of sedition and said such behavior is punishable by death. The Pentagon is also investigating Senator Mark Kelly of Arizona over potential violations of military law. The Democrats described the FBI move as an effort by the Trump administration to intimidate them into silence. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Negotiations continue as authorities try to end the Russia-Ukraine war. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer says talks on a U.S. proposal to end Russia's war are progressing.
I do think we're moving in a positive direction, and indications today that in large part the majority of the text looks as though Vladimir is indicating can be accepted.
Meanwhile, Russia launched attacks on Kyiv and Ukraine responded with drone strikes on Russia. European leaders warn the road to peace will be long. Nigeria's president says that all 24 schoolgirls held by assailants following a mass abduction last week from a school in Kebbi in northwestern Nigeria have been rescued. A total of 25 girls were abducted on November 17th from a government school in Kebbi State's Maga town, but one of them was able to escape the same day. The remaining 24 were all rescued, according to a statement from President Bola Tinubu. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 664 points. More at townhall.com.
Just how good is Pure Talk's current deal for unlimited wireless? Well, you might say it's the deal of your lifetime. Because right now, for just $29.95 a month, Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for life. Not your phone's life, your life. This is Pure Talk's top-tier plan. It comes with a crazy fast 5G network along with a 30-gig hotspot. And at just $29.95 a month, there has never been a better opportunity to lock in a ridiculously low rate for as long as you live. And save thousands and thousands of dollars along the way. This plan is normally $65 a month, but if you switch today, you will save over 50% every single month for the rest of your life. See what I mean? It really is the deal of your lifetime. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. Offer ends 12/7. Some restrictions apply. Details at puretalk.com.
There are 4 more arrests in that $102 million Louvre jewel heist. Correspondent Julie Walker reports.
The Paris prosecutor says the arrests involve 2 men and 2 women, ages 31 to 40, all from the region. The official did not specify their roles in the October 19 theft, but French media reports one of the men, a 39-year-old, is believed to be the 4th member of the team that carried out the daring daylight robbery. The other 3 alleged members of the so-called commando team were already arrested. Their DNA was found at the scene or on items linked to the robbery. A woman was arrested in October, accused of helping in the theft. The jewels have not been recovered. I'm Julie Walker.
News and analysis at townhall.com. From Washington, I'm Keith Peters.
On point weather on 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. Cloudy with overnight showers likely. Our low temperature dropping to 63. Tomorrow, look for some morning showers, but things do get better as the day progresses. We'll clear out and we'll top out with a high of 74. Thursday for Thanksgiving, much cooler, but sunshine-filled skies. The high reaching just 58, and more sunshine on Friday, but even colder. 51 the high and a low temperature that night, 29. I'm Cal Mostert with your on-point local weather.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point. This is The Point. Make thepointradio.com. The Point.
This is Sports Talk, the voice of South Carolina sports. And this week, everything changes. This week, it's the Palmetto Bowl week. 2 programs, 2 fan bases, 1 game that defines a year. Built on tradition, fueled by rivalry.
There's a lot of rivalries out there. This is more of a domination. Carolina's in Chapel Hill and USC's in California. And the university in this state always has been, always will be, Clemson.
We are the University of South Carolina. There's some great moments that are about to take place here by just continuing to be us. We dominate the 4th quarter. That's how we win football games, and that's what we're going to do today.
From the upstate to the low country, from orange to garnet, the talk, the tension, the countdown, it all leads here. Because in South Carolina, this isn't just football. It's pride. It's legacy. It's the Palmetto Bowl. This is Sports Talk, the Palmetto Bowl Week edition.
And we continue on this Talking Tuesday night with Sports Talk. Time now for a visit with QB1, former Gamecock quarterback Perry Orth, here on Sports Talk. Great to have Perry with us. One final time, we'll wrap it up with him tonight. It's been great having him with us throughout the season. Appreciate his time and his intellect and sharing that with us here on Sports Talk. Of course, Perry, his appearance brought to you by Moultrie Insurance. Moultrie Insurance helps protect your business from the risks you don't see coming, so you can focus on moving the ball forward. Just like a good quarterback, they anticipate challenges. They call the right plays, unless they're coaching the Panthers, and they keep you protected. Trust Moultrie Insurance to cover your blind side and keep your business in the game. Visit MoultrieINS.com today. That's MoultrieINS.com.
Now to QB1 Perry Orth right here on Sports Talk.
Okay, let's welcome the quarterback in to Sports Talk on this very special week. Good evening, Perry. How are you?
What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. I'm ready for a great week of Thanksgiving.
Absolutely. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. And I know that when you reflect on the rivalry week, you're a kid that came up from Florida, joined the Gamecock program, faced the Tigers back in the middle part of the last decade. What was rivalry week like for you in preparing for the Tigers?
Yeah, it was a big week, obviously, and all eyes were on the game. All focus was on the game with school getting out Tuesday, midday. Wednesday and Thursday and Friday were all football. We typically had a Thursday morning practice and a kind of a Thanksgiving Day brunch, which had all the traditional food. But yeah, it was all 100% focused on the Tigers, and from the time I was freshman 2013 through 16, that was the focus, talk of town, and you could feel it in the air. You could feel almost at the conclusion of the week before, you could feel the tide turn to it's the week of the Palmetto Bowl, and everything just means more. You guys know that, being from the state. I grew up in Florida. Florida State, Florida was our game as a child. So I knew a lot about the importance and the intensity of a rivalry, but coming to South Carolina, you realize how important this game is to the people of the state on both sides of it. And it's always good when it's an evenly matched game. There was that 5-6 year span where Clemson just had it rolling, and we were trying to figure it out. But getting these games back even again make this game that's going to happen Saturday afternoon really special.
Well, I look back at the numbers from the 2015 game up there. It was a shootout between you guys and the Tigers. You had a good game. 219 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, a long of 57 yards. You ran for 36 yards. Unfortunately, you went up against a young, up-and-coming future superstar in Deshaun Watson, and he threw for 279 and a touchdown. He rushed for 114 and 3 touchdowns, and he did it on a bad knee. So you had a good game.
Yeah, if you,
he had a superior game.
He did. I don't know if you guys recall, but many teams had days like that against those defenses that we had during that time. But no, Deshaun Watson obviously was an elite college player, arguably the best player in college football for a couple of years, although he did not win the Heisman Trophy. But certainly a stellar player, and yeah, he did outshine me that day. He had a hell of a game. And actually, just to jog your memory, that game was actually at Williams-Brice. And so for him to put up those numbers on the road, it was a very, very impressive outing by Deshaun.
My bad. You're correct. Should have caught that. 2015. So these are the odd years. That would have been Columbia. You're correct. Yeah, 37-32. And you guys were down. Well, you scored. Okay, it was 37-25. You scored. I remember you scored with 1 second left. Sean Carson. You threw a pass to Sean Carson with 1 second left to make it 37-32. But that counts. You still want to count that in the stats,
Yeah, I would say so. But yeah, I mean, we had a couple of my friends. We talk about it all the time. We got down. I think it was 28-10. And we came roaring back and scored 2 quick touchdowns to start the fourth quarter and made it a 28-25 game. And we had Clemson at 3rd and 10 with the ball in the 30. And I do remember Williams-Brice feeling like it was going to explode. And Deshaun hit a pass over the middle, and 2 plays later, hit a deep pass in the sideline, and they ended up punching it in, and that's just what elite quarterbacks do on the road, hostile environment, team kind of biting at your heels, and, man, he put the dagger in us that day. Because we really felt we had just scored back-to-back possession, and, man, 3rd and 10, we thought we were about to get the ball back and go and get the ball to take the lead, but, man, he killed all momentum on that drive, and that was all she wrote that day.
I'm wondering if I'm confusing myself. Maybe it was the game before up at Clemson where he played on the bad knee and they won 35-17. Dylan Thompson was the quarterback for the Gamecocks that day.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah, that's the one.
Correct.
He threw for 269 and 2 touchdowns. Dylan had a good game, 249 and a touchdown, but Clemson ran for 225 that day, and the Gamecocks didn't run for a whole lot. All right, so enough history. Let's talk about what you saw from the quarterbacks coming off their performances this past weekend. You think, you got to consider the opponents for both, but do you think the two quarterbacks, maybe with the kind of wins they had, that kind of got themselves in sync and extra confidence going into Saturday?
Yeah, I do. I think that specifically with the South Carolina offense and Lenora Sellers in particular, actually have a couple stats pulled up for the phone call today. And Texas A&M, we had 267 yards passing, and then against Coastal we had 315. 579 yards of production overall against Coastal and 388 versus A&M, and those are much improved numbers under the Coach Furry-led offense, and I think that Lenoris has really settled into this offense. I think that they're running the football in a form that Lenoris is not only comfortable with, but the offensive line is blocking much better than they were middle of the season, and especially during the beginning of the season. And then you look at the pass game, you're looking at wide receiver screens, getting the ball out of his hand, 3-step drops and throw, not these long drawn-out pass plays that are take forever to develop, and then kind of the one-shot wonders that if it's not the perfect look or the first target's not there, now you're kind of panicking. I think these plays are giving Lenoris options, and Coach Furry has done a marvelous job, in my opinion, in his 2 weeks as offensive coordinator. And in regards to Clemson, I think that Cade Klubnik has gotten better as the season has progressed. He's playing efficiently, and they put up some nice numbers on Saturday against Furman. And I do believe that both offenses have gotten better. Now, the one thing I will say, because we haven't seen Coach Furry go up against the Clemson defense, but I would say that Clayton White sure has had Garrett Riley's number in the last few games in the rivalry. Even the game we lost 2 years ago at home, Clemson's offense didn't do a whole ton. We didn't win that game due to the just mere fact we couldn't score offensively on our end. So, it leads to a heck of a matchup, and one that would certainly favor South Carolina, and I think that's kind of why Vegas is on their side right now.
Do you think Mike Furry has shown enough to be given serious consideration for the permanent OC job by Beamer?
I think we should let this game play out Saturday and then make that call. I think that when you have a sample of 3 games, that gives you enough of a data set to make that kind of determination. But I can tell you that if they play well like they have the last 2 games, I think he should certainly be in the interview process for the job. I think he, all of the reasons why Coach Shula made sense last year, familiarity with the players, the program, the scheme, what the players knew, who they were recruiting, and then more importantly, the starting quarterback, it seemed to be the perfect fit, even though in Coach Furry's 2 debuts have been much more impressive than Coach Shula's was in the bowl game. And it's kind of funny that if you look back at, we had an amazing season last year, go into the bowl game and kind of lay an egg. And that egg that was laid in Orlando really has transitioned over into the 2025 season. Well, you go and unfortunately you lose against A&M, but we played well. They had a furious comeback where the wheels came off the track and kind of sputtered out and got out of control. But then we played well Saturday. We dominated the game clearly from start to finish. And you go and we win this game and put up some points on the board. Yeah, it number one, it leads you in a great momentum into the off season and to the 26 campaign, but then it makes people wonder, and it's got another candidate for this role that Coach Beamer can go out and look at, with Coach Furry along with the others that put their name in the ring.
Talking with Perry Orth, QB1 here on Sports Talk for a few more minutes. Going back to last year's game and thinking about Cade Klubnik, he had a phenomenal game last year. I mean, he was overshadowed at the end by Sellers and because of his interception, but he threw for 280 yards. He threw 35 passes before that interception without an interception, so he was 24 of 36, 280 yards, and he rushed for 62 yards and 2 touchdowns. So he had well over 300 yards of offense. But all people talk about, of course, was what Sellers did at the end, 166 yards rushing for him, 164 passing. Point is, so much talk about Sellers, but you cannot discount what Cade Klubnik is certainly capable of doing and winning this game from a Clemson standpoint on Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. You're looking at a senior leader, somebody that the program is turning to, and somebody that's had a lot of history in this game. He won the last time he was here, so he's coming here with a lot of confidence, believing that he can come out and lead the team to another victory. He knows their system well, and actually, all in all, has played pretty well. I mean, I think the projections, unfortunately, were unrealistic for him to be a number 1 overall quarterback on the board. I think that I'm not sure where that came from, but he's a good college quarterback. I think he's played at a high level. Again, I want to reiterate, not one of a top 10 quarterback, but he has played well as a collegiate quarterback, and I think that he can come in and certainly do damage if we're not ready to play. But our defense is very opportunistic, which has not been a strong type of defense that Cade has excelled against, because he typically does turn it over when teams get after him a little bit. I think if we can make him uncomfortable, much like we did last year, we can keep them under 14, 17 points, and if we do that, I do think that we'll win the game.
Perry, I want to circle back to a point you made a couple of minutes ago. You were talking about the USC offensive line, and you felt like they were playing better since the dismissal of Lonnie Teasley. So from just watching them play here the last couple of weeks, are you seeing physical changes with them, the way they're handling their pass blocking, their run blocking, or is it maybe partly, we know it's somebody new, a new voice in there, so it's got to be better, or do you see sort of X's and O's scheme-wise that they're doing a much better job than, say, they were early in the season?
You don't know if it's X's and O's. I think that they've kind of decided that they're going to be a zone running team, which is completely fine. You just want to have identity in what you're doing. Simplify it so the players can execute at a high level. I do think that our guys are playing with better leverage. I think that there were at times in the middle of the season where we were standing straight up and down, and other teams were getting underneath us in both the pass and the run game. And I think now we're playing with some better leverage. And whatever the message is, and let me rephrase that. I know exactly what the message is with Coach Elliott during the week of practice, which is fierce and intense. And if our guys are buying in, which it appears they are, they're going to find success. And then we have a quarterback to run the type of run game that Coach Elliott likes to run. It's inside zone, zone read, split zone with the QB, with the ability to read the end man on the line of scrimmage, all of those things. Putting Lenoris in space and making defenders have to tackle him is a challenge. And we've done a good job of that the last couple of weeks.
All right, going to let you go. Last question. Give me your score. That really isn't a question. That's more of a statement. What is your score?
Yeah, no, I like South Carolina. I like South Carolina, either 27 or 24, whatever. It's going to be one of those two, and then let's go 24-17 South Carolina. I think that we're going to score a late possession defense with a big stop, and we put the game away for a third win in the last 4 years for the Gamecocks in the Palmetto Bowl.
Or as Dabo would put it, Clemson will have won 8 times in the last. How did Dabo put it?
The question was to Dabo about the senior class being 1-3 against USC.
Yeah.
And he wanted to quickly change that and totally go away from what the question was and then say, well, you can use stats to whatever narrative. No, Dabo, they asked you directly, are the seniors more excited and fired up to play so they don't go out losers to Carolina during their tenure at Clemson?
By the way, You picked the exact same score I did. So
Well, we're definitely both wrong.
Yeah, either we're geniuses or doofuses. You know, make your pick. Hey, we have had a blast having you on with us. Thank you so much. We may hit you up
Appreciate
again,
it, Perry.
maybe
Absolutely.
during the playoffs to talk about some of these playoff quarterbacks and stuff like that heading into the down as the bracket works its way down. But thank you so much. Have a great Thanksgiving with the family, and we appreciate you, and we'll talk to you again.
Very good. Y'all have a happy Thanksgiving. Talk to you soon. Take
Thank
care.
you very much.
Thanks, Perry.
All right, QB1, Perry Orth, brought to you by Moultrie Insurance. Let's see. Mike from Barnwell. He's got South Carolina 27, Clemson 17. And he wants to know what both USC and Clemson are averaging scoring this year. I'll look that up and we'll get that back to you. Be right back. Got recruiting around the corner.
Touchstone Energy Cooperative members save more on electricity, and members save more on insurance, groceries, healthcare, restaurants, travel, concerts, and sporting events through Co-op Connections. Touchstone Energy is an alliance of the member-owned electric cooperatives, and as a member, the power is yours. Experience the power of co-op membership with Touchstone Energy and find out how much you can save on electricity and a whole lot more at touchstoneenergy.com.
Hi, I'm attorney Jim Corbett. For over 35 years, I've been making claims, litigating cases, and mediating cases. Quick checks from a car wreck are usually lowball offers. What happens 5 or more years from now when you didn't get the treatment or compensation you needed? Call me, Jim Corbett, 803-765-2968, or jim@jimcorbettattorney.com. Corbett with an E, and the initial consultation is free. Jim Corbett, 803-765-2968.
There's a lot of things we take for granted in our lives. Your home's AC will run cool. Your drive-through coffee will be hot. And the car will start when it's time to take your kids to school. It's when things don't go as planned that you start thinking about who to call and where to turn. The good thing is, you can prepare for life's most difficult days by calling the Larry Lucas Agency today. Larry is a State Farm agent that has been taking care of people across South Carolina for more than 2 decades. You probably have insurance, but switching is easy, and bundling can save you hundreds or more. Most importantly, the Larry Lucas Agency can help you choose the protection you want at the price you want. All backed by South Carolina's #1 home and auto insurance company. Visit LarryLucasAgency.com today or give Larry a call at 803-799-1998. Like a good neighbor, Larry Lucas State Farm is there.
Many of South Carolina's top high school seniors meet in one unforgettable showdown in Myrtle Beach. It's the 78th Annual Touchstone Energy Cooperatives Bowl. Hi, I'm Phil Kornbluth. Join me Saturday, December 13th at noon, live on your Sports Talk Media Network affiliate and streaming on all of our social media channels. Don't miss the pride, the passion, and the tradition of the Touchstone Energy Bowl, powered by your local Touchstone Energy Cooperatives. Get your tickets now at touchstoneenergybowl.com.
Straight Up Sports is simply all sports, all the time. Straight Up Sports is a collection of retired and award-winning sports writers and sports broadcasters from around South Carolina, like Bob Gillespie from the State Newspaper, Scott Kiefer from the Greenville News, and Mark Sturgis from ESPN Upstate. Straight Up Sports is about the stories, just like the days gone by with no editors nor managers involved. Check us out on Facebook or Twitter or online at straightupsports.net.
The Sports Talk Recruiting Report is sponsored by Seawell's Catering.
Okay, time for recruiting on this Talking Tuesday, brought to you by Seawell's. All right, nothing better than an in-person testimony of what Seawell's is all about. The plumber went to Seawell's for lunch today, daily lunch and buffet. Only day this week they were open for that, 11 to 2, $15 for the buffet. What'd you think? What'd you have? What'd you think?
Well, The fried chicken's good, the brisket's good, all that stuff is great. But I'll tell you what, the mashed potatoes and gravy is really why I was there. That and the banana pudding. So the dessert proves to be great.
Love the banana pudding. Love the banana. And Bergie, you had Seawells at USC on Saturday.
I was so excited. It was so good. And to Seawell's credit and USC's credit, actually had Thanksgiving. So we had ham and turkey and macaroni and cheese. And, it was excellent. Excellent. Well worth the wait in line from all the other hungry media people at the game on Saturday.
Pigs. The turkey was really good, by the way. Turkey was really good. So you can enjoy that next week, beginning next Tuesday. They're closed the rest of this week. And give them a call to help you out with your catering needs. 803-771-7385. Online at SeawellsCateringSC.com. All right. So I have to eat a recruiting story. Not nearly as good as anything that I eat at Seawells. I learned this morning that the story I wrote and reported on last night on junior college offensive tackle David Connor is not correct. While Connor did attend the USC game on Saturday, he was there on his own, not on an official visit. He's not been offered by the Gamecocks, nor has head coach Shane Beamer ever talked to him. South Carolina is not recruiting him. So, in the interest of full disclosure and honest reporting, felt it was best to just correct the story instead of just delete it and forget about it. Apologize for reporting the wrong information there, so it can take him off the South Carolina list. Meantime, 6'1" Isaac Ellis of Moravian Prep in North Carolina announced a decommitment from the Gamecocks, reclassified for the 27 class. He's the brother of Gamecock guard Eli Ellis, averaging 30 points per game this season, including one game of 56 points. Back to football, Florida commitment running back Carson Baker confirmed on social media today his official visit to South Carolina this weekend. South Carolina commitment offensive guard Darius Gray is coming to the Clemson game, as is 2026 offensive guard Cody Peterson of Ashley Ridge. Gamecock Central reported 27 offensive tackle Maxwell Hiller of Coatesville, Pennsylvania, will be at the Palmetto Bowl. He also visited USC in March and for camp. Now, Rivals has already projected him to Alabama, which has also offered his brother for basketball. 27 defensive back Kennedy Green of Georgia plans to be at South Carolina Saturday. Clemson target 28 offensive tackle Prince Che, offered by Miami. Greenwood receiver Jay Duncan commits to Furman. Northwestern safety Tamarian Watkins set to sign with Texas A&M 11:45 a.m. on Wednesday. 28 running back Michael Martin of Christ Church offered by Appalachian. Furman running back Gavin Hall is transferring. One-time USC target, one-time Penn State commitment running back Messiah Mickens commits to Virginia Tech. USC Sumter freshman infielder Ryan Patuski commits to South Carolina. Be right back.
On Point weather on 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. Cloudy with overnight showers likely. Our low temperature dropping to 63. Tomorrow, look for some morning showers, but things do get better as the day progresses. We'll clear out and we'll top out with a high of 74. Thursday for Thanksgiving, much cooler, but sunshine-filled skies. The high reaching just 58, and more sunshine on Friday, but even colder. 51 the high and a low temperature that night, 29. I'm Cal Mostert with your On Point local weather.
What's better than getting the best Wagyu and Hereford beef anywhere in these parts and getting it delivered to your door? How about knowing you're still supporting local farmers in Saluda over at H&J Cattle, where tradition meets quality? Visit HandJCattle.com. Place your order for $50 or more, get free delivery in Richland or Lexington County. Plus, Point listeners get 10% off your order. Enter keyword The Point as one word for your discount. HandJCattle.com.
Ooh, that was great. Now check this out.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Some suburban Houston residents are dealing with cleanup following at least 2 tornadoes as heavy rain falls around the south and snow in parts of the Midwest. The Texas severe weather outbreak Monday damaged over 100 homes, though no injuries were reported. President Trump says his plan to end the war in Ukraine has been fine-tuned. He said Tuesday he's sending envoy Steve Witkoff to meet with the Russian president and Army Secretary Dan Driscoll to meet with Ukrainian officials. Trump suggested he might meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky once negotiations progress. On Wall Street, the Dow by 664 points, the Nasdaq rose 153, the S&P advanced 60. More details at srnnews.com.
Hello, this is Stacy Huff, host of Huff Nation Sports Zone, each and every Saturday, 10 to 11 a.m. right here on 100.7 FM, The Point, and also 1470 a.m. It'll be a fun trip around the world of sports. Huff Nation Sports Zone, check it out.
I don't know too many folks out there who love paying taxes, but what about getting tax credits? That's appealing, right? My buddy Ken at Broker Solar is in the tax credit business. How would you like a solar battery that helps do two things? First, it serves as an instant generator the moment the power cuts out, and it doesn't even require gasoline. Secondly, it lets you take some control back from the power companies. Yeah, you can use solar power during the peak hours when your power company wants to charge you the most. Oh, and that tax credit on solar batteries, you can get a 30% tax credit right now. This is a phenomenal time to reach out to Ken. He'll come out to your home or your business. He'll give you a comprehensive free estimate, answer any questions. Solar isn't free, but you need to take advantage of those credits when they do come around. Call Ken right now. Save on a solar-powered battery. Online, find him at brokersolar.com or just call Ken, 807-7417. That's 807-7417, Broker Solar.
What's important in an insurance agent? I'm David Jolly of the Higgins & Halloran Insurance Group. First and foremost, I make myself available when you need me. And let's face it, it's not always a convenient time. I communicate with the folks that I work with, and I take insurance personally. That means I'll look for the best rates for you and do everything I can to help you when you need to file a claim. When you think of insurance, I ask that you think of me, David Jolly. Reach me at Higgins & Halloran Insurance Group at 803-850-0054.
Hey y'all, my name's Ted from Flight Deck Restaurant. With the holidays approaching, people are looking for places to hold large parties. Flight Deck Restaurant has what you need. We have 4 different rooms that can accommodate groups from 12 all the way to 120 people. As long as you eat dinner with us, Flight Deck does not charge a rental fee for the room. Flight Deck Restaurant can accommodate wedding receptions, rehearsal dinners, Christmas parties, birthday parties, anniversary parties, civic organizations that need to have a regular place to meet. Flight Deck Restaurant is a full-service restaurant and we can provide audio-visual equipment. Please consider Flight Deck Restaurant in Lexington. Thanks y'all and God bless.
Want to hear my success story? I'm Fran Halloran, the money coach. I'm celebrating a decade of partnering with The Point. It's one of the best decisions I ever made. I've used The Point to significantly grow my small business. It started with a meeting with Kevin Cohen. Do you own a small business? Are you on a limited budget? No problem. Reach out to Kev at 563-8558. Get a customized plan and start your journey to business growth with The Point today. Success is one call away. Take the leap.
Hi, I'm Tazima. Join me every Saturday at 11 a.m. for Small Business Saturday. We'll celebrate business owners in our community while learning their stories of success and failure. It's Small Business Saturday right here at 100.7 The Point.
Tiger Phil. All right, just to be fair, that commitment to South Carolina baseball, USC Sumter freshman infielder Ryan Piekutowski. Tried to rush that in there, want to get it right. Ryan Piekutowski, Piekutoski, committed to South Carolina 26 class. He's from Pennsylvania, freshman at USC Sumter. And Bergie, what were those numbers on USC Clemson offense?
Yes, we had a texter that was asking about the offensive output for both teams. Clemson right now averaging 29 points a ball game, and South Carolina is averaging 24 a contest.
All right, time now for another edition, early edition this week of Mike Morgan. Morgan on the Move, brought to you by Play It Again Sports in Harbison. Chris Mosley operates the best sporting goods shop in the Palmetto State with all the things you'll want to buy, sell, or trade. Best selection, best prices with a great friendly staff. That's PIA Sports in Columbia.
Sponsored by Midstate Roofing, South Carolina's leading roofer for over 30 years, protecting what matters most.
Uh-oh, guess what day it is? Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's Mike Day.
Woo-hoo!
Every day is Mike Day. Just ask him. It's good to have Mike Morgan with us here once again. Morgan on the move. He has been on the move all over the country, making fabulous play-by-play calls at tremendous football games, just like this one.
Third down, they're at the 12-yard line. They need the 4. So 3rd and 8. Shotgun, ball right hash. 2-by-2 formation. Wisner motions out of the backfield to the left side. Empty backfield now. Oklahoma rushes 4. Manning from the pocket. It's clean over the middle. Touchdown! Touchdown, Texas!
Mike, are you available to do the Touchstone Energy Bowl All-Star game in a couple of weeks?
I can check my calendar, but certainly, I did do the South Carolina State Championship games for 3 years in a row.
I can't promise you, 80,000 screaming fans to generate the excitement in your voice, but still, you can self-generate.
Oh.
That was a fabulous call. Sounded to me like, based on that call, you were rooting for Texas.
Yes, I'm a lifelong Texas Longhorn homer. You caught me. No, that was from the Texas-Oklahoma game, so there is some relevance to that play and the timing of that because this weekend we have Texas A&M, which, the Black Friday triple header is really outstanding this year.
Yeah.
And it all starts with the Egg Bowl, which is going to be 3.5 hours of Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and nonstop Lane Kiffin conjecture.
Ugh.
But in our game, neither coach will be fired or will leave for another opportunity. But you could argue it's the best overall matchup with Texas A&M with a whole lot on the line. Texas still has an outside shot at the playoff. A&M needs a win to clinch the SEC championship game. And I'm just glad to see that rivalry back. For a long time it wasn't there when they were in different conferences. Now with the permanent opponents in the new 9-game slate, we're guaranteed to see this game every year. And that's what this weekend, to turn it back local, I understand it's been a grossly underachieving year for both programs. But it still means something. Like I sense that just doing the ITG show Monday and Tuesday, and I mean you still sense like there's no lack of interest in the game itself. There's a lot of angst in the air and disappointment and even coaching rumors in some situations. But at the end of the day, this is what separates college football from everything else. You can have two teams having a disappointing year, and when they play in the final week of the season and they're rivals, it still means something. The NFL doesn't have that. So looking forward to a great weekend of action. The game that I'm calling is on Friday, but I'll get to see South Carolina Clemson on Saturday. And having covered that game for a lot of years, not nearly as many as you, Phil, because you're much older, it still means something to me to watch that game and to take it in. And I will certainly be focused as you will be on the game itself.
Mm-hmm. Checking your Instagram this week, I don't think I look all that much older than you. So,
what is it with you? And you post nothing on social media, and I feel like you're becoming a stage 3
lurker,
voyeur.
Restraining order, Mike.
I know, 500 feet. That's why I had to leave South Carolina. He kept violating the restraining order.
Hey,
keeping Tom Kornblut.
We want to address. I haven't talked about this because we've been so tied up with Gamecocks and Tigers, but the whole Kiffin thing. I mean, you got 3 schools now. Yeah, LSU, got Florida, Ole Miss. Okay, so we all know all 3 of them want this guy, and this is like a LeBron James the announcement thing all over again, except on the college level. Something we've never had this kind of situation before in college sports, I don't think, where you've had a head coach coaching a team that's going to a playoff and coaching his rivalry game, and then He's going to make an announcement after that rivalry game if he's going to continue coaching his own team or go take a job that's going to pay him $13 million plus at one of those other schools. It's just insane how this is being played out, but nobody seems to be bothered by it.
Well, I don't know if people aren't bothered by it, but there's some people now that have they've kind of just accepted we are in a whole new era. So you can be Camp Kornblut and yell at the clouds, as you often do.
Stop, cloud, stop.
Or you can just say, you know what, there's nothing I can do to change it. Nobody's running the sport. I think if he leaves and then Ole Miss basically tells him, well, fine, you can't coach the playoff in the middle of one of the biggest seasons in the history of Ole Miss football, if that's not 2025 college athletics, I don't know what is. On top of that, and you know this better than anybody, you probably get inside tips on this kind of thing all the time. What I hear from coaches that they're most disturbed about, it's not that players are making money. Okay, coaches were never against players making money. But what's going on right now, I don't care who your favorite team is, and you might root for everybody that's wearing your team colors and maybe buy some jerseys and what have you. There's people in that roster that have already decided they're going somewhere else for more money. And it's not public, and they haven't told anybody, but that deal's done.
Mm-hmm.
There's no such thing as tampering, apparently, in college football. And so that, to me, is even more disheartening than the Lane Kiffin story, to know that there's going to be kids running out on rivalry weekend, and some of them, their heart's not going to be completely in it because they've already agreed in principle to go somewhere else. That, unfortunately, that's the ugly side of all this money coming in right now.
Mm-hmm.
It just, there is no loyalty. The old Jerry Seinfeld axiom, you're basically rooting for laundry, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're really, the players come and go, and the loyalty isn't what it used to be, but you're rooting for the uniform. So, at all that being said, now that we've just gone a trip down negative lane, because Phil, that's where you like to live. This is still a great season.
Get off my
lawn. Off my lawn. I know. Damn you, clouds! Kids, get away from there. At the end of the day, it's still so exciting. I mean, look, we're going to be sad here in a couple weeks when this thing is over. You won't have any postseason to cover, but you'll still be watching the playoff and the championship games and whatnot. And then before you know it, poof, it's done. And we football season's over, and we're all going to have withdrawal symptoms and hangovers. So I want to just focus on the positive. I love the playoff. I love the great stories in college football. I love that it's not all Georgia and Alabama anymore, and that we have great stories like in Indiana or a Diego Pavia in Vanderbilt. Good luck voting for the Heisman Trophy this year. That's going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I think that all that stuff, on one hand, it's never been better. You just have to also deal with the fact there's stories like Lane Kiffin out there and players just constantly looking to get an extra couple grand to go somewhere else.
By the way, we've banned the word the word whatnot from this show, as well as
funnest.
As Dabo Sweeney said today, funnest. So funnest and whatnot are not allowed. Go ahead, Berger.
Mike Morgan on the move. Mike, let me throw another player into the Lane Kiffin sweepstakes for a moment. Let's assume for a second that Auburn actually rises up and somehow beats Alabama this weekend. Alabama's out of the playoffs. They're not going to the SEC championship game. Is there a chance that Kalen DeBoer looks around and says, you know what, Alabama's not where I need to be. Let me go take the Penn State job. And does that open up an avenue for Lane Kiffin to actually end up at Alabama as opposed to Florida and or LSU?
Wow, man, how much tin foil did you wrap up to come up with that bad boy? Woo! Man, oh man.
Well, if we're going down the conspiracy road, let me throw the grand one out there. This is the second gunman on the grassy knoll right here.
Yes, it all comes back to Daley Plaza, November 22nd, 1963. Look, I don't think Kalen DeBoer is going to be on the hot seat. I don't think he's getting fired. Alabama fans will complain and bellyache for the better part of the next 7 months, but nothing will be done there. I was just in Happy Valley in Penn State, and I think they're a little more realistic. They love Kalen DeBoer, sure, but I don't think they're getting Kalen DeBoer there, and I don't think they expect that. And I don't think Lane Kiffin is going to Alabama. And I'm sure you didn't make that up in thin air. There's probably some Alabama chatter. There always is, and it was, long rumored that Dabo Swinney would be the next Alabama coach until he wasn't, and now it's Lane Kiffin, and until he's not. No, I think Lane's truly going to. It's an episode of The Bachelor, and we're down to 3 women. And is he going to take the blonde, the brunette, or the redhead? And that's it, because they all have the same money. They all have the same, bank account that they can offer. Florida, Ole Miss, LSU, price tags about $90 million, about $25 million in NIL to the players for the payroll, because that's what we do now. We buy players. So it's not going to be a financial move. He's not going to take the job based on money, because they're all paying record amounts of money. So I usually when you say it's not about the money, yeah, it's about the money. No, it's not about the money, because the money's the same. So it's clearly whatever Lane Kiffin feels like is the best situation for him. And honestly, I don't know if he knows what that's going to be on Tuesday night, but he's going to have to figure it out by Saturday.
All right, let me come back to a little more reality. Let's assume for a moment now Alabama wins over Auburn. Oklahoma and Vanderbilt all win this weekend. How many teams do you think the SEC gets into the college football playoff?
Minimum 4. The answer to that question is going to depend on obviously what happens in this final weekend, because you've got legitimate bubble teams. Like Vanderbilt needs help. Vanderbilt, even if they beat Tennessee, could be 10-2 and still not get in, which kind of seems unfair, but that's what the early college football ranking committee would tell you. If Alabama loses, I think a 3-loss Texas team would have a better resume than a 3-loss Alabama team. The locks, if Ole Miss loses the Egg Bowl, they could be out, right? So Georgia will be in and A&M will be in. Those are the two locks. But there's a lot of teams that it really is coming down to the next weekend, Friday and Saturday, to kind of figure out where the SEC stands. I think the over-under is probably 4, but that's going to depend on what happens.
Well, I'm going to say this. We'll let you go about Lane Kiffin. I mean, the dude has done a great job playing the system. He was one of the first to really embrace the NIL game and play it loud. He's embraced the social media game. He's the Steve Spurrier, but maybe with more of a bite to him than Spurrier was. He's a little nastier on social media towards other coaches, other programs than Spurrier was, who did it all pretty much in fun. But he's embraced all that. My point is, you got these schools now willing to pay through the roof and to fight over a guy who's never made the playoffs, who's never won a national championship, who, he's got some baggage, et cetera, but they see him as the best thing out there, I guess,
Well, yeah. I mean, look, he's never coached an Alabama, a Georgia, a Texas, a Southern Cal, an Ohio State. He's never.
No, he was at Southern Cal. He was the head coach of Southern Cal.
No, you're right. He was the head coach at Southern Cal.
Got
did
fired
not do
on.
well.
Got fired on the tarmac.
Got fired on the tarmac. Yeah, and Southern Cal really hasn't been Southern Cal since Pete Carroll. That's a whole other story.
Yeah.
I think the feeling is, first off, 10 years ago, I wouldn't have hired Lane. I thought he was a little bit, for lack of a better word, punkish. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what you're getting at. But I give him credit. He's 50 years old now. He's grown up, and he's a hell of there's no better offensive mind and play caller in college football than Lane Kiffin. And so, well, you could sit there and say, I think he's overrated. And if Carolina or Clemson had an opening and somehow there was Lane Kiffin had always wanted to live on Lake Murray, you would want South Carolina to hire Lane Kiffin get the offense out of the Stone Ages, and be successful and cover that man, because he is the closest thing you have to a Spurrier right now. I mean, he's had Ole Miss win 10 games or more 4 times now at Ole Miss. They hadn't done that in 50 years once. So, I mean, clearly he right now is at a different level. And it took him a while to figure it out, to grow up, to learn, and to become the first thing he had to do is get his personal life in order. Phil, we're still waiting on you to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But now that he has, and the coaching has grown up with it, he's the hottest thing since sliced bread. I can't argue with it. I really can't. If I were an AD and I had a chance to get him, I would do the same thing. I'd round up my big money people. I'd put the best package on the table. I'd talk to Jimmy Sexton and say, this is the place for Lane, and this is the place he can retire. And that's what's happening right now.
46 years, same wife. 43 years, same job.
Loyalty.
Thank you very much.
Part of the reason, Mike, that Phil has been nominated as the South Carolina Sportscaster of the Year.
What is that, 27 times he's going to win that thing?
No, sir. I'm not winning it. I don't do this for the glory.
We need to start a smear campaign against Pete Yannity and Reggie Anderson. Of course, Phil does his own smear campaign on Reggie virtually every night.
That'll take care of itself.
Hey, I took my 5 awards and I retired South Carolina.
And now you're working on Georgia, huh? You're working on some awards there in Georgia.
I've won nothing in Georgia. I don't think I'm eligible because everything I do is national. But I'd like to think that the work is appreciated by somebody, even without the big celebration dinner in Salisbury. I think they moved that actually to Charlotte now, but wherever it is.
Winston-Salem. They do national awards, the Mike Tiricos, the Bob Costases, those guys.
Yeah. I don't think I'm winning any of those.
The Joe
I'm
Bucks.
just going to have to do this without awards anymore.
Well, you can be the Sports Talk Sportscaster of the Year.
That's really all I aim for.
There you go.
And I like to think I'm getting close. And of course, with every year, it just becomes one step further. And I look forward to many more years to come on this fine program.
Well, I'll be checking the Instagram to see what you got going on. Otherwise, we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Mike.
Elite Media.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Elite. Same to you both, guys.
Yeah, happy
I
Thanksgiving.
appreciate it.
Yep.
And Phil, you celebrate Thanksgiving, don't you?
We do.
You
we do. We're allowed.
You haven't
allowed.
Gotten so dark that you don't celebrate that. Enjoy it, everybody, and everybody in South Carolina. Have a terrific Thanksgiving.
Thank you. More pictures with
guys.
the wife. More pictures with the wife on Instagram would be appreciated.
Yes.
All right.
And I'll have a picture with McConaughey from Austin on down on the field Friday night.
Name dropper.
Nice.
Name dropper. All right, man. Have a great Thanksgiving. Talk to you next week. The one and only. Thank goodness it's the one and only.
He's awesome.
Mike Morgan. He is a great
Had to get that
play-by-play
in for you,
announcer.
Phil. Congrats, man.
I
knew you wouldn't mention it, so
I didn't even know it. Yeah, thank you very much, and we'll be back.
Hi, this is Billy Downer from the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources. Are you looking for a safe place to shoot your rifle or handgun? Did you know that the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources operates 4 manned ranges across the state in Pickens County, Spartanburg County, Richland County, and Charleston County? For more information on our public ranges, visit dnr.sc.gov/shooting.
Football season is upon us, and that means Columbia is welcoming fans from around the corner and across the country. No matter where you're from, Gamecocks love coming together for game day energy that can only be found in South Carolina's capital city. Book hotel rooms, find pre- and post-game activities, and plan your tailgate spread with local favorites from pimento cheese to barbecue at experiencecolumbiasc.com. We'll see you soon, and go Gamecocks!
Traveling can be the worst, especially when you can't find your favorite show. Well, don't worry. We've got the perfect way to keep up with everything happening in the Palmetto State when you're away from home. Just pull up the Chief Sports app on your mobile device, and you can listen live to Sports Talk.
All right, welcome in, everybody. Sports Talk Media Network.
So the next time you can't find us on one of our great radio affiliates, just log on to the Chief Sports app, the best way to stay connected with the Sports Talk Media Network.
This is Perry Orth, former South Carolina quarterback. On the field, my job was simple. Read the defense, protect the ball, and give my team the best chance to win. Off the field, at Moultrie Insurance, our job is no different. Help protect your business from the risk that you don't see coming, so you can focus on moving the ball forward. Just like a good quarterback, we anticipate challenges, call the right plays, and keep you protected. Trust Moultrie Insurance to cover your blind side and keep your business in the game. Visit MoultrieINS.com today.
You've put in the work for your education. The extra early, extra late, extra work. That's because you understand education opens doors to better pay, better opportunities, and a better you. Being educated about playing the lottery is no different. It helps you be a better player, one who knows when to play and when to take a rain check. The lottery's a game, so let's keep it fun. Learn more at sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.
He says he's balanced, calls it down the line, but those Gamecock colors, they always shine. Corn good, oh corn good. Says he's neutral, but we see the truth. Corn good, oh corn good. Loves the Cocks, it's his favorite suit.
All right, let's get a few text messages here before we run out of time. Phil, the plumber loves dessert. Hey, you're right, Ernie. Thank you for that. He loves. Hey, well, I mean, Will's dessert. The banana pudding is worth killing for.
Terrific.
Is Ernie saying that he doesn't like dessert? Is that what he's implying?
He's wanted to give you his. If he won the contest, he said you could eat his dessert.
Well, I will accept.
So the question is, did you eat his dessert today?
I didn't see him there.
All right, Russell and Anderson. Tiger Bryan's going to have to get Mrs. Tiger Bryan to call in. Dabo can twist the numbers as he sees fit. He's good with numbers, but not names. Give me a break. He knows 4, 6, 16, and 8's name. If not, he'll hear them over the PA enough Saturday to learn them. That's good. That's good. That's good. Dabo made people mad by just giving the you made a point of that, though.
Yes. Yeah. It bothers me. I mean, Tim Beck, every week I interview him, I ask him about individual players. He knows exactly who these guys are. The coaches do, and especially when you're coaching in state. Mm-hmm. It's not disrespectful. I get it. It's the way he is. But you can't do that against your rivals. You know who Lenore Sellers is. You know who Nick Harbor is.
If Dave Canales doesn't trust Bryce, why did Rico only have 6 rushing attempts? I think either Dave does not trust Bryce, but Bryce can't perform, or Dave just has terrible, dumb play calls. Either way, no excuse for Rico to only have 6 rushing attempts, with those 6 attempts averaging 6.3 yards per carry. That's from the 704. And he wasn't happy. Apparently, Dowdle put something on social media that was antisocial today.
I don't blame him. So. And had they won last night, and they had every opportunity to beat San Francisco, they'd be in first place in the division. I realize it's a terrible division, but they would be in first place.
That's all we got. See you tomorrow.
WQXL